Good morning. This is Patrick Lee. It's time for Midweek Motivation Live. I hope you all are ready for a fun show today. Going to dig into a couple of topics that I think you're going to like, and hopefully you'll be challenged too. Hey, we'll be back right after this. Y'all stay tuned. Everyone's saying, hey, Patrick, where did you go? How are y'all doing today? Hope you're doing good. I was messing with another camera there for a second, and one of the settings is messed up on it. That's okay. We're looking at moving into a two-camera system in the future, seeing how that goes. And that one I did not have time to get set up. I thought it was set up, and all of a sudden it went into a settings mode. Hey, Elizabeth, Pete. Good to see people already tuning into the show. Today we're going to talk about your big why and what does that mean. Some of you may have heard the term before and some of you may not have. And I've been talking with a lot of people about it lately, encouraging some and then also recognizing some of my friends that have really started delving into self-improvement, this whole space that I have jumped into the last couple of years, self-improvement and motivation, inspiration, aspiration, things we talked about last week. But the big why is one of the topics that gets thrown around a lot. When people are starting a new career, if they're looking at a new endeavor, if they're wanting to jump into a multi-level campaign, no matter what it could be, people want to know what's my motivation. It was a famous thing to say, back when we started listening behind the scenes with actors. And part of the acting theory with the script that they would be reading is what's my motivation. Well, that's really what we're going to talk about today, not the acting part, but what is my motivation, the big why, and why is that important? And so I want to peel back the layers on a little bit of that today and talk to you about what is your big why. Why do you do what you do? Why do I do what I do? Why do I jump on here every week and look to motivate you, help you move forward in life and achieve that next level in your life, your business, your career, your relationship. So I thought it would be a good thing to talk about today. I'm currently reading 3 books right now, and they all have a little bit to do with the topic. Hola, Nino, my brother from another mother, watching the show, Terry. Love that, man. So I'm reading, and I should probably focus, but I'm reading 3 books right now, and I just lied. I'm reading 4 books right now. 2 that are audio that I'm listening to. I've just finished Principles by Ray Dalio. That was a hard one. If you want to read Principles by Ray Dalio, it's like reading War and Peace. If you've ever read a long book, that one is long. It talks about his life, his career in the financial services business, the principles that they use to cause their company to blow up, to be so huge. But I'm also reading Bibi, the new book by Benjamin Netanyahu, the 3-time now elected prime minister of Israel, and all about his life. I'm also reading a book called The Code of the Executive, a business book written off of The Code of the Samurai, an ancient Chinese book or Japanese book about the Code of the Samurai that was adapted by Don Schminke to American executives and business leaders. And I'm also reading your five next steps by Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David is an Iranian immigrant. So it's kind of funny that I'd be reading a business book by an Iranian immigrant. But he immigrated to the country when he was about 12 years old. They were leaving the war-torn Iran when he was a young boy in the middle of the Iran-Iraq war. As they decided to leave the country, the bridge they crossed was actually blown up behind them as they were escaping the country, and the carnage behind that. And don't forget number 5, the Bible. I knew that's where you were going. That one's an always, Terry. I'm always reading the Bible, and actually had to do a bunch of research in the Bible this week to discuss a couple of different topics I was talking to some people about, and wanted to make sure I was speaking in the right direction about the conversation. The best business book in the world is the Bible. I've shared that on the show many times. Any of you that know me know I'm a born-again Christian. I love the Lord. I love His Word. Every business book that you read is going to have some influence on or was derived from the Bible. I just believe that. Everything that I read proves that to me. You don't have to stop, brother. It's all good. I love the comments and the challenge. That's why you're top 5, brother. Top 5, talking about book number 5, which is actually book number 1. But I digress. So yeah, Patrick Bet-David, Iranian immigrant, escaped from war-torn Iran at 12 years old and became a student. Was a tall kid, could have been athletic, but couldn't afford to get involved in athletics. And top 3 is better. There you go, Cody. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So that's a great one. And in that particular book, he's talking about simmering down or boiling down or reducing your next step goals into your next 5 moves. Many people put together a plan, and I've shared that on the show as well, for you to make a business plan going forward. Put a line down the middle of a page, write the pros and cons on either side, weigh them and get one against the other, which is just a very basic way, but I believe that we all need to have a strategic plan of where we're going in the future. I have to constantly go back and rewrite mine as my life changes. I do still go in the same direction. I continue to move forward, but there are people that we meet along the journey that enrich our lives. Sometimes new information causes us to have new insight and want to go in a new direction. Sometimes it's the leading of the Lord saying, I don't think you need to go that way. I think you need to go this way. And I do, with the show and with my career. So everyone that's watching the show right now and commenting, you know me. I have a real estate team. I'm a servant in my church. I love people and relationships. But there are many times that, the leading of the Lord causes us to go in and out of new relationships, old relationships, and business plans, adopt new business models, develop relationships with new people. And that's a constant journey that we're always on. Pete says, make a vision. Make it, this is my why. I'm talking with Cody here on the show. Cody's been working on his dream board. And I've had, I think, 2 or 3 dream boards. It should be an easy answer, shouldn't it? I've either had two or I've had three. I've created two or three. I believe it's two. Two is the correct answer. In the last 10 years, I've created two dream boards, vision boards, things that I wanted to see happen in my life. Now, 25 years ago, nearly 30 years ago, I created a vision board, but that vision board was really not a board. It was a vision bathroom mirror and vision refrigerator collection. So, and many of you have done that in the past as well. The Bible says to make the vision plain that they may run who read it. And I have found that by putting the things that I want in my life regularly in front of my face, on my bathroom mirror, on my refrigerator door, was a great way for me to start years ago at keeping a vision in front of me of the things that I was running towards, the things that I was working for. And then as I got into business, into real estate, I've owned multiple companies. I've started a few companies before real estate, was a home remodeler. I've done numerous things, but was always in sales or food service and customer service. And growing yourself is always a part of that. Does that make sense? Learning why you do or discovering why it is that we do what we do as people has always been a part of that journey. When I got into real estate, it started to become normal to do a lot of personality profiling and testing. And I've taken the DISC test 2 or 3 times. I have taken the Enneagram and learned out what my codes were and what kind of a personality I was there. And I am a counselor / warrior champion. On the Enneagram test, I'm a high I, off the chart I on the DISC test in my interpersonal skills. Many of you that are familiar with Tony Robbins' version of the DISC test and some others, you can go to TonyRobbins.com and click on his link to the DISC test, answer the questions, and you can find out an amazing insight into your personality type, who you are as a person. Years ago, I had taken the READ test and the BEST test when I worked for a couple of supermarket chains for management positions. And they all come down to determining why we are the way we are. You can take tons of tests, tons of questions, tons of exams. And that's going to give your boss, your potential partner, a potential employee, a little bit of insight about why we do what we do and how we're going to react in different situations and circumstances that we're put in front of. And I also believe, however, that history is a very clear indicator of future if something isn't done to change that. In the book, your 5 next steps, they boil down your goals, your business plans and models down to focusing on your next 5 steps. What do I need to do next to help me catapult myself forward quickly and with clear focus into my future? I read a couple of years ago an incredible book that I've recommended to family and friends and pastors. We actually adopted this business book called The One Thing, co-written by Gary Keller and another author. And that book, The One Thing, I also highly recommend, that will tell you the one thing you need to do next to help you start gathering focus, becoming clear on what it is that you need to do moving forward. That's another book I highly recommend. The book, The Story of Bibi, the new book by Benjamin Netanyahu, gives you clear insight into his life and studies here in America and abroad. He spent many of his childhood years back and forth between America and Israel, his home country, and his father was actually very, very instrumental in the nation of Israel becoming a nation back in the 1940s. His father was the author and writer of the Encyclopedia Hebraica, the Israeli version, Hebrew version of the Encyclopedia Britannica. And so many of you understand the wisdom and the intelligence of a person that has the knowledge to do that and the ability to put together an entire encyclopedia for a nation. So that book has given me so much insight into the motivations about Israel, why Israel became a nation again, the spiritual implications behind that, things that were prophesied over the children of Israel, God's chosen people, how we are grafted into the body. Those of us that profess Jesus Christ as our Savior. Why do we do what we do? And as we peel these things back, we start finding out what our motivations are. Are we motivated by need or greed? That's a key indicator that you should probably ask yourself regularly. Are my motivations needy? Am I a needy person or am I greedy? And that can usually be defined by some of the things that you have on your dream board. Is your dream to have a jet, a private island, a multi-million-dollar mansion, private with security team, and just heap lavish riches upon yourself? You're probably a greedy person. Would you put those things on your dream board because it's something that you aspire, that kind of a lifestyle that you aspire to live in or adopt into your lifestyle? Or is it because those things will cause you to get out of bed in the morning and put your feet on the floor and hit the ground running towards your goal? Or have you written down what your perfect day would look like? I think Frank Kern does the perfect day exercise, and that's another person you can look up, Frank Kern. And it may be that your perfect day, I've done the perfect day exercise. That's amazing. What would your day look like if you write it down, starting from the moment you wake up? What time do you wake up? Where do you live when you wake up? What kind of a bed do you wake up in? What kind of a breakfast do you want? Who are you with that morning? And how do you write out what your perfect day would be like? I would challenge you to do that. And I think that would help you determine some of your motivations, your big why. But as you start questioning yourself about these things, and doing a dream board is a great exercise. I highly recommend it. On the dream board, you're going to gather together magazines, books, newspapers, articles, items, stories, pictures, photos of things that you desire or aspire to have in your life. The kind of a person, photos that would demonstrate the kind of person you want to look like, the amount of charitable giving you want to give, the kind of vehicle you want to drive, the kind of home you would like to live in, the amount of family and friends you would like to have around you at holidays, and the experiences you would like to share with them. These are the things that start determining what is your big why. I've had numerous big whys in the past, and one of them continues to be service to others. My big why is one of my big whys is service to others. Number two is preservation of family and legacy. When we get older, we want to have the financial stability and to maintain our lifestyle through our golden years, right? That's part of your big why. You want to be set up financially and still be able to help others and create a legacy for those that come behind you. But maybe you have a goal, and it would happen to be, one of mine would be to build another, not add on to, but build a different version, a new model of a free children's hospital. I would like to make enough money in real estate to have enough investment properties that would sustain and grow my legacy moving forward, but also give me seed money to start up another version of a free, non-government funded, non-government regulated hospital to help cure known diseases through any method possible that's effective. I believe that children's hospitals and research around the world, billions and billions of dollars, and you follow me for just a second. We're already 22 minutes into the show, and here's part of my big why. I believe billions and billions of dollars have been given for cancer research, and yet we have very few cures for a very limited amount or type of cancer. I believe that breakthroughs are happening in multiple countries around the world, and they're being squashed by government regulation. And if we can have a free hospital for children that is not government regulated, that is not regulated by big pharma, that has zero money invested into it by these drug companies that want to medicate us, that there are cures out there for the ills and diseases that plague our children. And as we take care of children, we also need to take care of orphans and widows. And if we can come up with a way to fund services for widows and orphans, that is a good thing. Those are part of my big whys. Those are why I get up in the morning. We met this week. Cody's watching the show. Great friend. We put together this fundraiser to help women and children and men that are involved in sex trafficking and farm and slave labor in third world countries and right here locally and across our country, in our city and in our country. And some of the people that came to this meeting, we had Monday, our vision meeting moving toward into 2023, asked the question, do you have a vision, a mission statement? Do you have a clear-cut goal? What do you want to accomplish this next year? When you say like-minded people, what minded people are we determining if we're like-minded with? What kind of a mind do you have? So thus, these are a lot of the reasons behind the topic of the show today, the big why. Is it important? What is it? And why is it important? I believe that if you do not have a big enough why, a big enough reason, a strong enough motivator to get you out of bed in the morning to do the thing that you believe you are called to do, then you will never achieve that in your life. You may be struggling in life and just moving from one job to another job to another job, and it just doesn't seem like I'm ever really getting ahead in life, and I just move from one step to the other, but I'm never moving upwards. I'm never moving forwards. I'm just moving, but I'm not achieving anything. I don't feel like I'm going anywhere. Maybe you need to determine what it is in life that you want. And once you determine what it is in life that you want, you need to ask yourself, why? What is my motivation? Why do I want the things in life that I want? If you can identify what it is in life you want, you can create a path to take you towards that. You can link arms with someone who's been there, who can show you the way. I'm looking at the viewership, and I just watched a bunch of them drop off rapidly. That's puzzling. Did I just say something hard enough to make some people lose interest? They said, "Oh no, I think he just challenged me with something I'm not willing to do." That's interesting. I love watching that when that happens. That's funny because sometimes you start hitting a nerve, and you can tell when you're hitting a nerve sometimes, and then the viewership drops off on the screen. Sometimes I go off script or off topic and just start chasing a rabbit, and you automatically start watching the viewership go up when you start getting passionate about what you talk about. Cody says Wednesdays are always a perfect day for him. Motivation with Patrick Lee, then Wing Wednesday for lunch. Amen, brother. Amen. Wing Wednesday is always a good day in my book. Nothing wrong with that. That's one of my big whys on Wednesday. I get up to do Midweek Motivation Live for all of you, and then another part of that day is Wing Wednesday at Fireside Pizza. I love that. Hope y'all are getting something out of this today. This really is the challenge, the big why. Is it important, and why is it important? If you can't determine what it is in life, chances are anything you do in life is going to get you where you're going, because that's nowhere. Plain and simple. If you don't have a destination, any road will take you where you're going, which is nowhere. If you can clearly identify, write down, put in front of you what your vision is, you can determine a route to get there. What is your big why? Do you want to have a big family? Why do you want to have a big family? In real estate, we ask about 50 questions when we are talking with a new potential buyer. and a seller. With a seller, it's usually about 15 questions to determine the motivation behind a seller, how we're going to derive a price, how we're going to determine, the condition of the home, how we're going to market the home, what timeline they want to sell it in. But with a buyer, it's usually much deeper, usually 50 questions about determining the motivation and the capability of a person to buy a home. And most of those questions involve what kind of a lifestyle they want to have. If we can paint the picture of the lifestyle that person desires to have in their future home, it helps us identify their home so much quicker than if they say, I just want to go look at everything on the market and I'll know it when I see it. That's a very poor way to purchase a home, because you end up involved in the paralysis of analysis. Every home you look at may have a feature that you like, but other features that you don't. And you'll get confused and continue to look at house after house and never determine what kind of a house is actually the right house for you, and you'll never purchase one. So we ask a lot of questions. Do you enjoy a fireplace? Why? Did you grow up around the fireplace with your family, making s'mores, tending to the fire yourself? Do you love the sound and the feel of a fireplace, the crackle of the wood burning? Is that where your fond memories were? Were those memories did you share a room with 3 or 4 siblings with bunk beds and games and toys, and you enjoy large bedrooms and want to have a large master bedroom with a lot of rooms for your children to enjoy hanging out with their family and friends? Is it a big den where you all watch movies together and play family games together? What is it about the home that you enjoy? Is it a big kitchen, helping each other cook a big meal in the kitchen, elbow to elbow, sharing food and conversation and fun? These are all things that we ask people just to buy a home. Don't you think it's important to ask yourself those kind of questions about your life, your relationships, and your career? What kind of a career do I want to have? What kind of a person do I want to be known for? What is it that gets me out of bed in the morning and makes me go unlock the door to my business or unlock the door to my office, get back on the phones, get back on the internet and start, advertising, calling, reaching out, talking to friends and family and other business associates to help you achieve your goal? Mary says, I enjoy listening to you. Thank you. Wednesday's the best time for me. I have time for the Lord's Word. Amen. We should all have time every day for the Lord's Word. So I read some of the Bible nearly every day. Not every day, I confess. I don't read the Bible every day. I spend some time reading every day in one way, shape, or form. And then about every third day, I spend more time actually reading large amounts of books. And then early mornings, late at night, I get a lot of reading in. And then the audibles I listen to in between appointments, driving, things like that, is where I get a lot of those books listened to, and you can get a lot of information. We have multiple gates into our mind and into our spirit, and those are our eyes and our ears. So I utilize those both a lot. And it sounds like I talk a lot. I do this show every week, but I do believe we do have 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth. So we should listen and look twice as much as we speak. So that helps me a lot when it comes to it. But that's the show today. I hope this has helped you guys. I want you to challenge yourself. Identify what it is that gets you out of bed in the morning. Identify what is your big why. Why am I married to the person I'm married to? I had a goal when I married her. Am I still following along with that same goal? Am I still enriching that relationship? Am I enriching the lives of those around about me that have chosen to work with me or work for me, or that I work for? Is my big why to get to work because I follow the vision of the leadership of where I work, or is it just because it's a paycheck? And if it's just a paycheck, then your big why is getting that paycheck so you can go forward and do the things with that paycheck that you want to do that supports your big why in life. You can find your big why in everything that you do. And if you can't, I challenge you to do that moving forward. Write down what your big dreams are. Write down what your goals are. You know, a goal without a plan, what a goal without a plan is called? A wish. You know what a wish sandwich is? 2 pieces of bread and you wish you had something to put in between them. Don't you want something in the middle of your wish sandwich today? I know that sounds a little lame, but isn't it simple? The simplest things that can make the most impact in our lives. What is it you want out of life? Write it down. Write it down so that people that read your goals and dreams could run with them. Write them down. Once you've written them down, determine if that's your big enough why. And if it's not, enlarge it. Add on to it. Make it bigger. Make it a stretch goal, not an easy goal. Add on to it. Cody, Cody won a copy of the Power of One More by Ed Mylett, and it talks about that a lot. Add on to it. Make your goal a stretch goal. If you're doing 10 reps in the gym, do 11. Add an extra rep. If you're running laps around the track, run an extra lap. If you're doing a row of stairs, run an extra row of stairs, right? The power of one more phone call, one more meeting, one more relationship. Add on to it. Make it a stretch goal. Enlarge your why to where it's your big why. Thank you, Mary. Hello, Bruce. Good morning from Baird, Texas, my man on the road. Always good to see you checking in from wherever you are. Guys, this has been Patrick Lee with Midweek Motivation today. The show, The Big Why. Is it important? I believe it is. I believe you need to grow it and follow it in your life. Make sure that your why is big enough that it causes you to hit the ground running every morning, and easy enough for you to share with friends and those that you know, love, and trust. Until next week, this has been Patrick Lee saying, if you know anyone interested in buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate, give me a call, 806-570-7712. If you're in the Amarillo area, and if you're not in the Amarillo area, give me a call anyway. Reach out to me. I would love to get your referrals. Take care of your friends and family as well. Until next time, I'll say this, the secret to the show, our motto is courage begins at the end of your comfort zone. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.